when they're cornered and they're out of options, Democrats have a nasty, but it's a really predictable habit of racializing everything. They did it to Reagan. They did it to Bush. They even did it to McCain. And, of course, they did it to Romney. And they've been doing it to Donald Trump since the day he announced his candidacy.
First, we have to deal with the fact that the xenophobic rant he went on and on about Mexicans and them being racist and criminal. I mean, it was horrible.
God, even the notion that he talks in seems fictitious.
It's
Is
crazy.
that too strong a word?
No, it's not too strong a word. I mean, I also think it's racist. I think we can use that word.
Well, it didn't work then, and it won't work now. But they're trying. Yesterday, Senators Durbin and Graham, they wanted to foist their bipartisan DACA deal on the president. And by the way, Dick and Lindsay's Immigration Act is about as viable these days as Siegfried and Roy's. Okay, we've seen this before. Well, they pranced up to the White House for the grand unveiling, and they were flummoxed when immigration stalwarts, Congressman Bob Goodlatte from Virginia and Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, were already in the room, as was White House policy advisor, immigration expert Stephen Miller. Remember, just a few days earlier, when the cameras were rolling, the president said he would not sign any DACA deal without the funding of his wall and an end to chain migration and that stupid visa lottery system. Yet somehow the dynamic duo thought that they could, through charm and flattery alone, con Trump into agreeing to their solution that didn't meet the president's baseline. And actually, if you can believe it, their idea increased chain migration. The president, to their faces, said it was dead on arrival. Good for him. Durbin and Graham were so enraged after being spurned, somebody went to the press. They peddled the story that Trump had referred to Haiti and unspecified African countries as S-holes, and that we should try to get Norwegian immigrants here instead.
His comments said things which were hate-filled, vile, and racist, calling the nations they come from the exact word used by the president, not just once, but repeatedly.
Now, the president, in a tweet this morning, denied that he used that language, and Durbin clarified later that the president was referring to African countries whose citizens regularly use the visa lottery system, not Haiti itself. Now, setting aside the alleged remark for a moment, would you describe any of these countries as Shangri-La? I mean, if people there were living in Club Med, they wouldn't be trying to crash our borders. And I think it's important, don't you think, at this point, after all the verbiage, to take a look at some of the real facts about a few of the countries that can't keep their own people from leaving. Now, let's begin with El Salvador, a country I've been to many times that I've known very well for the last 30 years. Its capital has the highest murder rate in the world. Somalia, well, guess what? It's one of the largest state sponsors of terrorism, has one of the, is a safe haven for terrorists across the globe. And then, of course, Sudan, it's one of the 4 countries on the U.S. state sponsors of terror list, in addition to a lot of other bad facts. Now, I would not have called these countries what the president did, but they are rank with corruption, repression, and, of course, it's obvious, isn't it, that they offer their citizens little hope of a better life.